And we are live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. 6 o'clock on the dot. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops. Shout out to the retirees. Shout out to the people who going to work right now. Shout out to the people coming in from work right now. I said that before. Some people work night shifts, so they're just getting off in the morning. Shout out to every single clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. Manners and respect, thank you for being here. Shout out to you. Kalak C1, Nicole Bazaar, Jamaican Duo. Shout out, thank you for being here bright and early. I'm on some ginger tea this morning, just ginger. Just crush up the ginger, put it in the pot, boil it, and drink it. That's what me depend this morning. That's what's in my cup. And you know I'm a tea person. All right, people. Thank you for being here. Taz Tizzle, big up yourself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen up, I'm going to start off early. So there wasn't a live yesterday morning. And a lot of the times when I don't do it, when you see the morning come and there is no morning thoughts, it's because we all have our, how should I say it? We all have our demons, our struggles. We all have our thing that we're dealing with. And it's called life. And in life, many things happen. So yesterday, there was no live because I will have you know. And in me saying this, what I'm about to say is me revealing another part of myself. I share a lot, but I'm kind of an open book. I don't want to live a secret life and I don't want to live a quiet life. I'm not one to come to earth and then go quietly into the wind. So I'm going to talk enough. So my own journey. So when I got out of the army, first of all, we're going to talk about this girl. There's a young lady that passed away, but I'll get to that because that's the main topic for this morning. There's a young lady, a teenager that passed away recently, and her parents have spoken out and described what she was going through. Now, this morning, I'm going to need all my thinkers. I'm going to need all my people who have lived long enough and had enough experience with life. You've probably seen this before. The family is looking for some kind of, to make sense of this. I'm going to need my medical personnel in here, from CNA to nurses to doctor. I'm going to need everybody's expertise this morning so we can talk about and see what we come up with, because obviously they weren't able to save her and they weren't able to come up with a proper diagnosis. So the family don't understand what happened. But before I get into that, let me just say, when I first got out the military, right, and you might call it PTSD or whatever else other people want to call it, but when I first got out the military, I had a hard time readjusting to civilian life. So what you are witnessing now, sometimes when you don't see a morning live, I have this habit. And the habit is that when I can't sleep, so you know, people like combat veterans, the stories that you hear, if you've never lived it, man got to war, man seen things and done things, and it plagues your mind when you come back home, and then you can't be among civilians and all these other things. I've done all of that. I've lived all of that. I've lived all of it, every single bit of it and more. So right now, what I go through now at the worst part, I've been to the VA, I've tried all their medications and counseling and seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist and all. I've been down the whole road. So what you're seeing now is I try to keep my mind busy. And I thought to myself, what better way to keep my mind busy? I don't want to sit around and fret and worry and be depressed and anything like that. So I throw myself into work, right? And what ends up happening is sometimes I work for 2 days straight, no sleep. And then after 2 days, I will go down. I mean, I will literally fall out wherever I'm at. And I will sleep for about 2-3 hours. And then I'm up again for another whole 18 hours, 20 hours before I sleep for another 2-3 hours. Sometimes I sleep for an hour, wake right back up and go right back to doing something again. And I'm up. So I struggle with that. I struggle with sleeping. I struggle with I mean, this thing has affected my life in many ways. So for the people, this might be able to help somebody out there. This is how I've dealt with it. So even my wife can tell you that I was the kind of person where I would always have to have, I would go to sleep with a gun, that not close by, in my hand. As time went by, it went from in my hand to at the bedside or under the pillow, or and I would get up in the middle of the night and I would check my windows and my doors of my house, and I would find myself doing it multiple times per night and all these other things. Everything is taken differently. You might be driving down the road and you see like a box, somebody throw a box or a pile of garbage, left it on the side of the road. Stuff like that used to cause me to swerve, right? Or stay far away from it, because in my mind, that's something that could possibly explode. Did somebody put an IED there? Something. So, and it took a while. It took a while. People drove up on me before in traffic, and I remember particularly one man drove up on me in traffic, young, dumb, young person with a flashy car. This is Florida. And he was just feeling himself that day. But how I was taking it is differently. He had a red car, I believe it was a Mustang. Windows open, windows playing loud, music playing loud. I don't know if I bad drive the person or he's bad driving people, but he pulled up on the side of me and he started doing all this. Now I'm in my vehicle and I'm thinking, what the hell going on? I seen middle finger, I seen all this. And I'm thinking, I'm a threat, right? This is a threat. So already one in the chamber, and I had the gun like this close to the window, so if I lifted it this much closer, it would be through the window shooting. And I'm ready, and I'm 100% ready, and I'm committed to shooting, and I'm driving and I'm watching, and I'm driving and I'm watching. And it turns out it probably was just a young dumb person who was just out, music loud, having fun. And I'm thinking I could have killed somebody. But he was cutting people off in traffic, driving erratic. Just those things that a normal person would, let me just ignore him, go about my business, or slow down, let them pass. I fly to the extreme, always to the extreme. So I've come to know myself to be the kind of person that once I'm committed to thought, I will execute that thought. So that's why I don't try to meds no bad thoughts or anything like that. I'm learning myself all over again. I used to be jumping out of my skin for everything. So for the people who probably are going through something like this, you might not have been a combat veteran. You might be something else that caused you that trauma, because it's not only combat veterans suffer through PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder issues, which lead to other things. Insomnia could develop, OCD could develop, like the fact that I was getting up. Listen, if I drove out my driveway and drive down the street, you would catch me reversing my vehicle back into my driveway, getting out the vehicle to go check all the doors again, to go check the windows again. And I'll do it like 2-3 times before I actually left to go where I was going. And the whole time I'm going where I'm going, I'm thinking to myself, you probably left the stove on. The house is going to burn down. You got to go back now and check again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. OMG, I do that too. Dorleen Waters Riley. Yes. And over time, that becomes OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So you're developing all these different things, what that started from just that, right? So this is real stuff for me. So sometimes when you see the live don't kick off in the morning, it's because I probably stayed up all night and told myself, all right, I'm just going to stay up all night till tomorrow morning and then go right into the live. Well, the live starts at 6. About 4:30 is when I start feel sleepy. So I'm like, let me lay down, but I'm going to set the alarm, put it right here next to my head. Let me lay down. Don't even sleep in my bed, not in my room with my wife. I'm in another part of the house. Put the thing right here. And at 5 o'clock is when I'm laying down to get up to do a show at 6. So I end up falling asleep. 6 o'clock comes, I sleep right through that alarm. And then I wake up at 7. I wake up at 7 and I'm like, oh man, missed the live. So those are the real things I'm dealing with. Now, my solution or how I deal with it is I've learned breathing techniques. I've learned breathing techniques, and I've also learned to get away from people, or I've also learned to go into solitude. Like the beach became my favorite place. This is another reason why I love where I live in Florida, because the beach is like right there. I get out my house, go straight down, bam, the beach is right there. And I found that to be very therapeutic. I would just go to the beach by myself, no electronics, no people, no nothing, and just listen to waves come in and just think, or try to do some deep breathing while I'm at the beach, just to center myself, just to calm my inner turmoil, that kind of stuff. So that works for me. That works for me, and it's helping, but it's something that's affecting. And I thought that you should know that. Because, yeah, and like I said before, right? Alexander and Jacqueline Tulloch, good morning. Thank you for being here. Someone says nature is best. They gave me mind medication before. They gave me pills and stuff before. And I'm not a pill person. I'm more of a, you know, me, I like a country boy, regardless of what. I still see myself as that little youth from Clarendon. So I still remember all the stuff that my grandparents used to go cut outside off the land and boil up, and this for this and that for that. Some of the pills that they were giving me, I remember one time I took up running because we run a lot in the infantry. So when I came out, I said, you got to keep running because it tires the body out, works on my cardiovascular system. It's a way to stay fit, and at the same time, a way to distract the mind. I remember one time I got put on this medication in particular, and I'm running. I went on a long run. I used to run like long, like from one side of my city to the other side of my city and back. Sometimes I would run so far, I would have to ask somebody, call and make a call for someone to come pick me up, because I would just run with no destination in mind, right? So one of them time here I was running, and this some new medication they gave me, you know. One of them time here I was running, and next thing I felt, I could hear the wires, the electric wires. I'll never forget, I could hear the electric wires buzzing. Bzzz, and the buzzing started getting louder. So I found myself panicking during a run. Now I'm running, my cardio is already up. I'm panicking in a run. Now it's hyperventilating, right? And these are real things that I deal with. So I'm running faster. The buzzing is getting louder. And then it's like, not saying that I'm hearing voices, but I started feeling like you're being watched closely, and somebody is about to do something to you, like they're about to execute you or try to execute you. And I'm running along a fence line of government land, preserved government land, where the Air Force comes and trains. And it's been there long before I got there. But in my mind, they just set that up when I got there. And I'm running. It's a heavily wooded area, but the first couple of feet in, you can see, because them keep that, because it's close to the road, they keep that clean. I'm running, the buzzing's getting louder from the electric wires. My senses are heightened. I can literally hear every car, different sounds of every car, who's playing music, who's not. And this is a road where the cars are moving fast. And I'm running fast, but I'm moving slow inside because I'm stuck taking in everything, panicking. And then it felt like one side of my head, just one side of my head alone was hurting. And it was like the electric wires were transmitting into my head. I don't know, it's crazy stuff that you go through. And again, these are the things that we go through. And the deep breathing and the running and the meditation and the solitude, it's affected my life in ways where even my children know. My daughter is 6, and my daughter already knows that daddy don't like crowds. So you see, at the time of the year when people like to bust off firecrackers and all that 4th of July celebration and all these things, my children probably missed out on the big parades where fireworks going. I have tried, like literally drive to where the fireworks are going to be. Everybody in the vehicle, they're excited. And I get there and I'm finding a reason to turn around to go back home. Because inside of me, I'm panicking. Now the kids are going to miss the fireworks. All their friends are going to be talking about it tomorrow. They won't be able to talk about it, right? Because daddy was panicking. But they don't, I try to make it look like something else, but they've come to know what it is because I explained it to them. Going to my son's football games, I would have to sit way up in the bleachers where I can see everybody else and there is nobody behind me. So I have a clear 360 view of everything. Going into a room, anywhere, I would go into a room and I would never turn my back to a door. I would go into a room and I would place myself in a position where I could see everybody else in the room, and I would be planning an exit strategy out of the room in case anything happens. Going on a flight, I would need a bottle of wine before I even get on the flight. Or when I get on the flight, I'm ordering wine and I'm drinking a couple glasses of wine, or those shot bottles. I'll order like 4 of those and I'll hit all 4 of them at once. I'm trying to get knocked out, go to sleep, so by the time I wake up, I'll have landed wherever I'm going. Because the whole flight, if I'm up normal, it'll be like, all right, somebody in this plane is going to start shooting. What are you going to do? So I look on the big mouth, most disrespectful person in the plane, and I'm like, you're going to be my shield. And this is how I'm planning my exit strategy. The plane is going to be mid-air. They're going to shoot holes in the cabin. The plane are going to go down. Like, you're thinking doomsday thoughts. And if you can imagine you being on a plane, you're in a space where you can't get out. It's not at your control until that plane lands. So the whole plane ride would be just panic, just sheer panic on the inside until I get to where I'm going. And these are the things. So when you see like a live don't take off in the morning, just know say SouFLoTV is a regular youth, and he's dealing with, well, is a regular youth that have been through some things and dealing with those things, you know, and living life. It was funny because I heard like my grandmother singing, and me telling her before, say I'm not no Bible thumper, I'm not churchical, I'm not even say Christian per se, but I am a spiritual person. I do believe in God, and I also do believe in prayer. So I'm not the kind of person to disregard prayer. So when people pray, and when like my grandmother is saying prayers for me, those are things that I humble myself and I receive, right? And I could hear her voice because I spent a lot of time around my grandmother. You know, she hum a lot, she sing a lot. My grandfather don't sing, he whistles, but he whistles so good, you could tell what song he's whistling. So I wake up and I hear like my grandmother's voice, one day at a time, sweet Jesus, that is all I'm asking of you. Remember that song there? And it just, you know what I'm saying to myself, like, really though, it's one day at a time, and that's all I could do is take things one day at a time. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus. That's my grandmother. She'll wash clothes. Tomorrow may never be mine, Lord, for my sake. She'll hang up our clothes, them put on the clothes pin and think on the line. Teach me to take one day at a time. Come take up this and bring it over there, so. One day at a time. You know, these are the things that actually motivate me and keep me spiritually grounded. So I know that I'm okay. I'm okay. You're okay. You're okay. So for anybody who's going through this, I don't know if you have to revert to back. You got to revert to where your strength comes from. You know what I'm saying? You got to revert to where your strength. I know, I'm no big singer, but my people who sing in church, them never care about who can hit the highest notes or sound perfect like Mariah Carey and all that. It's the emotion behind the words and the song and the delivery and all these things. It just resonates with my soul. Yeah, and it makes me feel like I'm okay. And it reminds me to take one day at a time. Because I'm the kind of person that feel like I can't go to sleep. There's so much to accomplish. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do this. And you know, funny thing is, going to school and studying types of personalities and behaviors that follow different types of personalities. If any of you have done it, it was at a university level that I learned that A-type personalities are also the personalities that end up with the most cases among human population of heart diseases uh, and anxiety issues and all these things. And it's because they're worried all the time and they're constantly going and there's no shut off switch. And what's going to happen tomorrow? And I have to have this plan for this day and this day and this day and this day. And I have to do this and then go to this and that. And you can't slow down and you can't focus on today. Just today. Yesterday is gone. This is my grandmother singing. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus. Listen to that word here. And tomorrow may never be mine. Tomorrow no promise to any of us. You understand? Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow ain't promise. I've heard this since I was a kid. It really resonates now as an adult that has lived some life now. Because back then it was just grandma singing. Now it's real word medicine for the mind. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take just one day at a time. That's it. So that's all we can do is take one day at a time. Stay prayed up. For those of you who pray, if you meditate on the Lord, meditate on the Most High, whoever you reach out to as your source, as your, just go there and know that you're okay and you're going to be okay. All right. But it's a fight of some sorts. Now, as we move on, yes, some Whoopi B says it's the song that matters. Yes, and the words in those songs, you start to really pay attention to them after you live. Darlene Walter Riley says, but this brain always thinking. That's me. I can't shut off. I can't shut off. I could turn off everything in the room. I could close my eyes. I could count sheep. I could count backwards from 100. I could do everything. And my mind is thinking about something else. Well, you have to go fix this. Make sure that this is done by tomorrow. Did you call so-and-so today, set up that appointment for? No, you didn't. How about you get up and write that down so you don't forget? Like, my mind is just going and going and going. One day at a time, man. One day at a time. Now I am starting to actually get to the place where I can see when I'm going off track and say, hey, one day at a time. That's all you can do. Stop worrying about yesterday. It's gone. Whatever you didn't do yesterday or whatever went wrong yesterday, that was yesterday. It's gone. Today is what you have. And that's all you have is today. You don't have tomorrow. Tomorrow ain't promised to you. Enough people got sleep last night, didn't wake up this morning. Or something tragic happened and they're fighting for life this morning. You know what I'm saying? It's not yours that's guaranteed tomorrow. And I said that's why the present is really a present. And when you say you're going to give somebody a present, it's a gift, right? That's why the present is a gift. And that's all you have is now. So don't mess up your now worrying about yesterday and tomorrow. You have no control over either of those. One gone and the other one ain't guaranteed. You only have what you have, right? And this is, and I'm trying to beat it into myself too. Not for the times when I talk, I'm talking from my real life experiences. And that's a humble place to come from, your real life, because you can't really tell people about their life experiences. You have to talk about yours. And then in my own journey, I've realized that there are other people out there that go through the same thing. No human condition is unique to just one person. You alone on earth just going through that. It's not so. There are people that are close by that are going through exactly what you're going through. So that's why I feel like it's important to speak. It's important to share, because I too draw strength from others. When me I go through a thing and I feel like, yo, it's me alone. Like not even the closest person to me don't understand it's me alone. And then I reach out and then I hear, yeah, you too? Man, listen, this is this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. So don't die with your issues either. Reach out, communicate. And in today's world we live in, nobody watch face when people are telling about want to put all on the business on social media. Oh, I meant to talk about, I'm going to talk about the girl, the teenager passing. But let me close off by saying this. I see people ridiculing people that reach out to say social media. If we had social media in the 90s, we would have been reaching out to social media as well. Because sometimes you don't have some people have nobody to talk to. Some people have a lot of people close to them and nobody understands them. Feeling like you're in a room full of people, but you're still by yourself and you don't belong kind of thing. So people reach out. And a lot of the times when people are reaching out to social media, they're on their last leg. They've already tried their bestie. They've already tried their brother and their sister. They've already tried mom and dad and grandma and grandpa, auntie, uncle, cousin. They've already tried pastor, preacher, everybody. They've already tried everything. They already tried mind medications. They've already tried everything else. They're reaching out as a last resort. These are the same people we ridicule, right? Keep your business to yourself. Don't put your business on social media. Instead of being more concerned about, wow, this story is deep. This person really need, hey, let me type a couple of words of encouragement or something. Instead of that, they ridicule them. Yeah, man, attention them, look, put your business on social media. Next thing you know, and I'm not speaking death, but next thing you know, I've seen people commit suicide. And the same people would turn around and say stuff like, so why you never find somebody to talk to? Or, Lord, why she take her life like that? Why she never reach out to some? Well, she did. She reached out to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who saw it, because social media is global. And when people go in there and beat down people who are on their last leg, who would never even beg or would never even reach out, and you see them reaching out, then a lot of the times it's not okay to just say, take your business off of social media. People are hurting. People are going through things they don't understand. People are trying to survive. They're reaching out for help. That's what humans are here for. We are all connected more than we think we are. And we can empower each other and we can uplift each other in our darkest moments if we just allow people to reach out. You hear me? All right. So moving right along. This story, mystery surrounds teen's death. This story is kind of like, I don't know if you've seen it, but it dropped in the Star. So mystery surrounds this teen's death. It was printed November 24th of 2020. Today is the 25th. So this come out yesterday. The deceased 16-year-old Palea Brown, she's deceased, she was 16, Palea Brown. She died at the Maypen Hospital last Thursday, 7 days after she asked her mother to take her to the doctor. Now, I want you to take note of this because we are going to discuss this. She's 16. She died at the Maypen Hospital on Thursday. You know, so Maypen is Clarendon, my thing. 7 days after she asked her mother to take her to the doctor. So she asked mommy to take her to the doctor 7 days ago. It didn't happen then. Or it did happen. Let's read on. Her father, Ronald Brown, who's 59, he said that Palea was suffering excruciating pain before she passed away. She dey hear a ball. She dey hear a ball for her belly until she all beg for a belt to tie up her belly to how she feel. And she a blow short. And when she vomit, it stink. And then he was crying while he was saying when she vomit, it was stink. She hear excruciating pain in her belly. This story kind of resonated with me because I don't know if y'all remember, I said that Kai was going through some belly aches. And we rushed him to the hospital in the middle of the night. Because me and his mom were both looking, me and Brains, that looked at each other like, okay, watch him, watch him. And we're watching to see his reaction to the pain. So we are trying to gauge, he's 2 years old. So we're trying to gauge, is it just a little belly ache and a 2-year-old don't know how to deal with it? Because me and you, we've lived long enough to know what belly ache now. So we'd be like, oh, my belly feel bad. May I drink some tea or, you know, stretch out this way, massage my belly, something. A 2-year-old don't know all that. So we're watching him and we know it could either be nothing. Thank God it was nothing, was gas, or it could be something very serious where tonight he's hurting and he's dead by tomorrow morning. We rush to the hospital. That's why I advocate for a better healthcare system in Jamaica, because imagine those who aren't able to access that and something happens to your loved one where they could have been saved, but they lost their life, right? So anyhow, it kind of resonated with me, the whole stomach ache thing. So 7 days after her mom, she asked her mother to take her to the hospital. Her dad said she did hear a bawl because our belly hurt so much. Now you got to understand, as a teenager, your belly is hurting so much that you want a belt to tight. She's going through some pain. What could have caused this? And then she vomit, and her dad says, like, it stink. The vomit itself is stink. Brown from Douglas Castle, St. Anne, said that Palea had been staying in Murray Mountain since August, but she called her mother on Thursday, November 12th, complaining of feeling ill. So her mother tell her to meet her at the St. Anne's Bay Hospital the Friday morning. And when she go, them test her and thing, and then them send her home. When she went to the hospital, they tested her, then they sent her back home. Didn't find anything wrong. But according to Brown, her condition, Brown is her dad, her condition worsened. Friday and Saturday, she was here, sick, not eating, and barely even talk for days. So we decided to bring her to church on the Monday to get prayers because she spit and she vomit blood now. He said that nothing changed Wednesday night, so we end up bringing her to the Maypen Hospital and they finally admitted her. Now, I don't want to discourage my church people or my prayer people, but there are a lot of things that, and I know you're going to argue with me for those of you who are profoundly into what you're into, but there are a lot of things that church and prayer is simply not going to fix, not going to help. It's the same thing for mental issues. When you see somebody that is diagnosed schizophrenic or exuding actions of a schizophrenia person or a schizophrenic person, and we go to obia them, so we have to go find a next obia man now to take off the obia there where them put on him, or somebody never like her, so them obia her, and them will take out her womb so she can't have no baby. Maybe that's why she go through whatever she go through. And you know, when we go to those places at obia, or we need to pray hard, and if it's not working, we need to pray harder and all this. They should have never left that hospital until they came up with something. But I can say that, but they're going to push you out the hospital regardless. It's time for you to go. I would have stayed there. Or I would have went to another doctor, another hospital, another facility to get a second opinion, especially since it lasted days. You go to the hospital, they check you out, nothing wrong, you're still hurting, you're still feeling bad, you're still in excruciating pain. He said she was short breathing, right? Short breathing, vomiting up blood, belly hurting so bad, she's asking for a belt to tie the belly. Prayer not gonna help us. And for some reason in our minds, for those of us who are on that religious thing, in our minds, you're just gonna see that big miracle. Well, I've never seen it. All the ones that I've seen turned out to be fake, acting. Pastor pay a man for coming and say, I don't know if y'all seen the videos where the lady go around with the pastor, travel all over the place, and her thing is her arm, one arm is shorter, and that's how she was born, with a shorter arm that doesn't really work too well. And she's able to jack up her arm into her clothes, and as pastor preaches, and I'm talking about thousands of people come out to see it, as pastor preaches and pray over her and pull the arm out, the arm comes out until where it is now the same size as her other arm, and all these things. People just want to see a miracle sound so bad that they forego common sense and reality. So in her case, I don't think prayer would have helped, but I'm not knocking the people, because when trouble take you in life, like I started out this video saying, you're going to have to go to your safe place. You're going to have to go to that place that makes you feel like, okay, I can cope. I can cope. I can get through this. Right? Dancehall reggae hip hop said, them now learn Jesus fake. Life is real and Jesus is fake. It's a slave ship. Yeah. I'm not gonna get into that debate this morning. Okay? And the reason why I'm not gonna get into that debate is I will simply say it like this: believe kill and believe cure. You have people who believe in a cow and they're doing very good in life. All the riches are coming to them. They're healthy. Their children are healthy. They are not, things are going for them in life on a higher level. And a cow, them believe in a. Some believe in a tree. Some believe in. So I'm not here to dispute where people want to put their beliefs. We live in an age now where people are going to believe what they want to believe for whatever reasons, regardless of whatever. So it's not my place. I'm a human being I'm one grain of salt or one grain of sand on a beach. So I'm not gonna and me just reach here. So I'm not gonna come and tell others what you believe in is wrong and it's fake and it's a lie. And if them can't decipher that for themselves, then that's their problem. And I choose to just put my energy in other places. Okay, if I don't believe it, I just keep that to myself. I mean, I believe that, so that's not where I'm going to put my beliefs in, and that's not where I'm going to put my energy in. But I'm not going to knock somebody else for doing it. The same reason I don't knock religion, and I've explained this before, because I've known some people that were the worst of the worst. And I've seen religion change them from the same Jesus, something that I've seen that change them from the Boogo Yaga kind of person that they were, heading nowhere fast kind of person that they were, to somebody that is now humble, somebody that is now dependable, somebody that is now honest to other people and to themselves and fully responsible and these things. So who am I to knock that? For me, that was just a vessel that took them to the other side, that took them over to good. Because two sides, you have bad and you have good. Ain't no in between. So if you was over on the bad side and this was the vessel that took you to the good side, made you become the kind of person you are, where when I look at you, I respect you because your children respect you, because you are there, you're dependable, your wife respects you because you are a respecter of a woman and the mother of your children, and you're handling your responsibility. Who am I to talk about what you believe in a fake? That's minute now. What you believe in is fake and all this other thing. But putting it in context, though, in context. When things happen like this, she's vomiting up blood. Her stomach is hurting so bad, she's begging for a belt because she wants to cinch her side, tie up her waist, tight. She's vomiting blood. She's spitting up blood. Then running to church for prayer instead of running to a medical facility is where I kind of draw the line, because I do talk to people about that. Like, when you see your family having medical emergencies, it's not time to seek pastor and it's not time to seek church building. It's time to seek some medical professionals who might know what that is and can save them. Right? But as far as debating people, religion, and what they choose to believe in and who is the real God versus I leave that debate. It's like debating people's sexuality. I leave that debate. It don't concern me that much. What concern me is your respect for others. What concern me is your good deeds that you do. Is he a dependable person? Is he somebody that is truthful? Is he somebody that can say, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, but this is the truth? Is he somebody that is of good character, that lives with good moral values? Them kind of thing, they're more concerning to me than who you go lock up and pray to. You know what I'm saying? Or who you in a bed or roll up and down with. That's your business. Now I'm nothing to do in my life. So we leave it at that. And those conversations tend to go sour real quick. And it cuts communication. Because me over here, I say, you know, so I want a big idiot that can't even talk to him. Because as soon as I start talking to him, I'm depend on this Jesus thing and this church thing. You know? And me, I gonna tell him, say, I fake and it's not real. And we're going to argue for like an hour about that being fake or real. Till I go my way, he goes his way. When there's so much more we could have talked about and shared. You know? So me not join them argument there really. Now, in her case, let's continue with our story. So Friday and Saturday, it says that she was here sick, not eating, not drinking, and barely even talked for days. So obviously she was getting worse progressively, right? So we decided to bring her to church on Monday to get prayers because she spit and vomited blood. Nothing never changed. Now Wednesday night, we end up bringing her to Maypen Hospital and they admitted her. The following day, which is Thursday, following day, which is Thursday, the family received the most devastating news that Palea had passed away. The father says, although me still in shock. Me can't even manage to look on her. All me don't go down at the hospital because it's my daughter and I love her so much. To see her in a state like that is rough, Brown said. Even if we vex, it's never for long because she go come and she go friend me back up. Sometimes she go on the road and she just buy all biscuit and food and them something there and bring it, come give me. And when she come back, you can hear her shout, Daddy, me buy you something or me buy something for you. And she always pull it out and she would try feed me with it, you know. This is after they would be mad at each other. She's that type of person who forgot buy her father favorite snacks and bring it back and try or open the pack. You still mad and try feed him, you know. Or as she reaching at the yard, she calling out his name, Daddy, me buy something for you. And no say I'm favorite snacks, you know. My grandmother thing is beef patties. So anytime I'm heading that way, me know say patty and cocoa bread and a box juice is a must, right? And that's her thing. I will make sure I bring it. So I can so relate. I can so relate. And yes, her father was there. Her mother in her life, her father in her life, her father was there. And she and her father was very close. But that's the emotional side of things, right? There's also a lesson in that before we even talk about her condition, because I'm not going to talk about that. There's also a lesson in this. And the lesson in this is, you notice he said they brought her Wednesday and they finally admitted her. And by Thursday, she gone. She was only 16. Here's another lesson for us. Who are you mad with? Who are you so upset with that means a lot to you? Is it worth it? Are you really playing God with time? Are you really sitting and telling yourself that, we have tomorrow, me work that out. Or me not talk to her again. And you let weeks and months pass before you talk to this person who it wasn't worth that kind of thing. You know, that's the message I get in this as well. It's like, if you love them, tell them you love them today. Understand whatever the beef or the fight was, work it out today. We don't really have tomorrow. It no promise. Like Granny used to sing, it no promise. Yesterday gone, tomorrow not promise. You have today. Message. Use today to fix some things. If it's even a one phone call, If it's even a text message, cause if me call them now, answer. Cause a long time with X now. A one message. Yeah. So here we are. And then she added that he said that she always said that she wanted to become a teacher. She wanted to be something to come help our mommy and daddy because she see how much we struggle. And she said that she wouldn't want to come live as poor as we are. Right? The burden on children sometimes that are born into poverty to feel the responsibility that I have to be the one to come save my family. So yeah, walk out the soul case and you're, oh man, that burden is a heavy burden to carry, you know. You have to go be the one now. Like, we don't have the luxury of coming here and just living life, enough of us, and figuring out our way. Me and wifey was talking about that, I believe it was yesterday. And when I went out into the occupational therapy field and started meeting all these other therapists, and I realized how privileged they were to be leaving home, leaving your parents' home for the first time in life at 25 years old. And at 25 years old, they have a master's degree already. No student loan debt to pay off. A job that is going to pay them over $100,000 a year. This is a real life thing me I'm telling you, you know, that I live. And it's countless of them that I met. And then when I meet the one them where my kin, they're struggling. We've been on our own since we were this young, and we have to fight for this. And some of we had to go to the military and then use those benefits to pay for school. So we had to duck gunshots at one point and risk life. And the others had to take out some big loan. And then when time they finally got there, now they got to go pay back this big loan and all this other stuff. And they living so carefree. And I remember one of them, he was 24 years old, actually, a speech pathologist, 24, with a master's degree, okay? Sharp in his field too. And I'm like, look at him just flourishing. At 24, accomplished all that. His first vehicle was a pickup truck. So you're living in your mom's and dad's house. They've already bought you your own vehicle. You know, you don't have no bills for pay, all this other stuff. And now he has this master's degree, $100,000 a year, fresh out mama and daddy house. He was boasting and saying how, yo, this is my first apartment, and telling stories about how in college they them did wild and all this other stuff. And then, you know what? Tired of my truck. I'm going to treat myself. $30,000 the next day, or it was 2 days after or so. A brand new Cherokee Jeep. And this was in 1 year ago. And just bought it. So they were asking like, so how much was your down payment? How much is your monthly payment? And he was like, nah, I just bought it cash. I don't like monthly payments. And I'm like, look at the luxury. We don't have them the kind of life there. But some people do. And for those of us who want to pay it forward, these are the things that I'm talking about, to be able to afford your children some kind of comfort so that they're able to, some kind of cushioning in life, so that they're able to actually come and live and not just come and be pressured, because enough of we just pressured, period. Now, on her case, I've done some looking up, WebMD and all these things. And what comes to mind is a stomach ulcer or inflammation of the stomach lining, which is called gastritis, right? And the inflammation or the damage from the stomach lining can actually squeeze an artery and then burst the artery. Now, y'all know what an artery is. So if the artery squeezed and burst from, say, a stomach ulcer or the gastritis, which is swelling of the stomach, the intestinal lining, squeeze an artery and bust an artery, and then it starts bleed out on the inside in her stomach, and then she starts vomiting it out. Your stomach is not meant to house. Now, I'm no doctor, and I'm not claiming to be a doctor. And let me put my disclaimer out there. I'm not a doctor. I am not claiming to be a doctor, and I'm not claiming to have medical expertise in this department. I am just saying, after reading up on what they described happened to her, I went and did a little research because I am concerned, because I have children that are close to that age group. So everything I feel is connected to me. In case this should ever happen, I know, hey, this is this. This is, could you look and search to make sure that you look at this for this, right? If it was the case, if this is the case, then the hospital itself missed big time. Now, my question is, did they do a stomach x-ray? Remember I told you all about Kai and his stomach thing? And when we got to the hospital, they actually brought the x-ray stuff to the room that we were in. And I remember the lady going outside the room with the extension. And I said, well, if she'll go outside of the room, because I've had x-rays done before and they put on protective gear. So if she's going outside of the room, why didn't she ask me to leave the room? Because this is obviously harmful. Why would she go way out the room with an extension? They're gone way out into the hallway. So my red flags went up. However, we did have the luxury of having that machine brought to us. So they x-rayed his stomach, they x-rayed his pelvic region, his testicles, everything. I'm wondering if they actually did that for her. So I'll be reaching out to the family, trying to find out what procedures were done. Did they do a stomach x-ray at the hospital and came back and said, okay, here's the stomach x-ray. We looked at it. A couple of doctors looked at it. We found it to be normal. Or, hey, there's bleeding in the abdomen or something. What was the initial findings? And they sent her home. Remember, I know by the time she went to doctor, she was in excruciating pain already. She was already bawling and begging for something to tie up her belly. So a stomach x-ray, a simple thing like a stomach x-ray, is something I'm wondering if they actually did. And these are the reasons why I speak up about our conditions, like the people we elect to lead. When it's time for their family members to go through these things, they jump on a plane at short notice and fly out of the country and go to places like where I live now. So as soon as they reach there, an x-ray machine will be rolled in. Whereas in Jamaica, it's different. You're going to sit there and hurt for days, wherein those days are crucial. You know? Karen says, people very careless with loved one, neglected. Darlene Walters Riley said, actually, he was 24, second property at 25. Yeah, we come under pressure. We grew up under pressure. We born into pressure, and we're pressured to succeed, pressured to make it because others are depending on us, and y'all come save the family and all these things. So I've met the young that are not my kinfolk. I've met those, and I've worked elbow to elbow with them, and we've done good in the field. But I can't help but notice the luxuries that were provided by them, and their parents might not have even been born into anything great, but they made up their minds that this is what they were going to do for their children, to pay it forward generation after generation. If I can make sure that your life is better than mine, then you make sure that my grandchildren's life is better than yours. Then sooner or later, generations down the road, we're going to be rolling in old money, because this has been built over generations. Yeah, but we don't do that. We have a practice where we come and we spend, and one life you have to live here, YOLO, and spend out everything, and drink and smoke out everything, and party out everything, and we don't pass nothing forward. A lot of us, even when time we pass, they have to scrounge and do a GoFundMe and all that to have a funeral, a burial, or something, because no money now got left. And, you know, we don't pass anything forward. A lot of us. Not saying all of us, because there are a lot that do. But the vast majority of our people do not pass anything forward. That is why the vast majority of our people are borderline poverty or in poverty. Can't tell. With people that are in poverty now, you know. Some people think because they have a job and they have a couple dollars saved up, they're no longer in poverty. You're borderline poverty. because once you lose your job and time take till you find another one, before you know it, you're right out there with those who you consider to be poor. So we're talking about building generational wealth. Houses are passed down, land passed down, and you make sure the paperwork is right before you expire through wills and the legal terms and of documents being preserved and these kind of things. We don't look into those things and we don't do those things. Right now, if I ask some of my people, you have a will? No. Why you don't have a will? Because I feel like say if I make a will, that means I'm ready for dead. I'm not ready for dead, so I gotta go and live my life. And then them dead and the little something that they had left is taken by somebody that don't even care about them. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing is left for their offsprings, their seeds, that kind of thing. However, with her, sticking to the topic with her stomach thing, I just want to know before I say anything else on her, if that stomach x-ray was done at the initial visit to the hospital. Because if it was, I'm thinking that they should have found something, right? And usually when I do these shows later on during the day, this is how I know that certain people watch. When I do these shows later on in the day, I'll get a notification from that same Star or Gleaner or whoever, and it will be an answer to the questions that I asked in the video I just posted. So I want to know if she actually had a stomach x-ray done, because we don't want this to happen to other people picking, you know. Troy Stars Trucking, manners and respect, my brother, big up yourself. Thank you so much. And Troy says, up, 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 SouFlo, my brother, big up and respect always. And I have to take a break again to say, this is the brother that I'm talking about. He's here this morning, and this is Troy Trucking. Go over to his channel. When I talk about productivity and progress and positivity, I'm talking about people like this. Warms my heart to see him making progress. Besides the fact that I'm proud, because Unano said that's what I speak, right? And me wanting to see others do good just as much as I want good for myself and these kind of things. These are not just words that I say. I have to live these words day in, day out. So, Troy Trucking, I would like for everybody that's on the live, right, to take a minute, go over to the brother's channel, and actually don't fly past what I'm saying, because this is how we support each other. This is how we build each other, okay? Go over to his channel, subscribe to his channel, and check out some of what he got going on over there. The videos are clean. They're well shot. Matter of fact, I wanted to ask him what kind of camera he was using, because him thing well shot. It's well put together. He's very articulate. Obviously, you can tell it's an intelligent brother, and he's out here doing his thing in the world and making big moves. And I'm proud, and I love it. I love it, and I'm celebrating it as if it's mine, right? So big up to yourself, my brother, and thank you for being here. So please go over to his channel. I'm gonna go check. I go check. See, just like I asked y'all to go on BLF TV, and I went and I checked, and I thank y'all for doing it. Don't forget her. Please go over there and support her as well. So I have BLF TV, I have Troy Trucking, and I have the two sisters. I could never remember their name when I'm speaking. Chairs and Benches. I'm remembering their name this morning though. And those two sisters, Chairs and Benches. Chairs and Benches is good for information about you wanting to make a transition. For instance, you want to go live in Canada? Are you thinking about going to visit, going to live in Canada, especially if you are a student? They can walk you through the process. All right, they can walk you through the process. Very informative, and again, not a Booga Yaga channel. So I'll never send you to a Booga Yaga channel. I'll never send you to a channel where people are disrespectful. The content is not clean. You're gonna hide your ears or cover your picnic them ears or move it away from grandma or mommy because it's so disgusting. I'll never send you to one of those. So BLF TV, My sister over there doing her cooking stuff. And then you have Troy Trucking. And I'm telling you right now, even girls or females who are involved or want to get involved in trucking and the trucking industry, please don't miss this channel. You brothers out there who you're looking for a change in a career field and you're thinking that the way this is, it is so informative. I just want to take you and go put you up on the man channel just so you can see. And of course, chairs and benches, them three. Big shout outs this morning for those three. All right. Now, back to this girl and her stomach. If she was not given, if she wasn't, thank you. For whoever go over there and sub, thank you for doing so. I appreciate you greatly. And again, this is how we support each other, right? If she was not given a stomach x-ray initially, then that's a big blunder. But who is going to be held accountable? Bigger than who is going to be held accountable, I just want the family to have some kind of a closure. Because it's hard losing a family member that you love, that you're close to, that you care about. When you lose old people, it's like, okay, grandma lived a long life. She was healthy majority of her life. It's sad to see her go, but we all pass, right? And you go on with grandma's memories and grandpa's memories. So those are easier to accept. When somebody choose a path of violence and them get killed out in the streets and all this, police shoot them down or a gunman shoot them down, you know, those are also easier to accept. Because, you know, say, yeah, I'm a family member and I love him. But we tried talking to him. We tried to get him to change him ways. And we told him about these outcomes and see it happen all the time around him. He still chose that way. But when you lose a child, and you lose a child under mysterious circumstances, that's something that's rough. I have children, and I can't even fathom the idea of losing one of mine. You know what I'm saying? But life has its ups and downs and its twists and turns, and it takes us there. So bigger than that, I want these facilities to learn that the next time somebody else comes in with the same thing, then make sure that the stomach x-ray is done first. Because that's the first thing they did when I took Kai in, when me and his mom took him in at midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning, or we went at 11 o'clock. We left the house at 11 and we were there till 6 in the morning and they would not let him go. And the first thing they did was a stomach x-ray. And they never said, oh, we didn't find anything, go. They did stomach x-ray, they did blood work. Remember I told you they wanted to catheterize him? And I immediately said nope, because I know exactly what it is. Not only that, but I work closely with people who have one, and I see the excruciating pain. I've seen wheelchairs roll over catheter line and pop it out. These things are painful. And I thought, nah, if it comes to that, after the stomach x-ray and everything else that we need to absolutely do that, then yes. But all these things were available for us to give us that peace of mind. So these facilities would now need to know that don't just let her passing go in vain. You see what I'm saying? Get this machine in there, because it could very well be that they are not even equipped with that machine. Or the person who knows how to work that machine gone home and they're not coming back till tomorrow is their shift. So you have to wait all night. That's how it works. So there are a lot of things that need overhauling and fixing up. And we're dying in ways that we don't even need to be dying in. About enough gunman to kill off people like crazy. Accident to kill off people like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Now, these small things where a simple procedure can save a life, but we don't have the machine. In 2020, but they spend billions on building up new building to do business in, and billions on paving certain roads and fix up this and that. Healthcare is first and foremost. And a nation that cannot secure its people's health care and cannot secure its people's safety, if the people have to constantly be worried about gunshot because over 1,000 of something of them die every 12 months, and they have to live in fear, or they don't have a proper healthcare system, those two things, forget poverty. We're born poor, so we can work through that. We know so we can farm up like a food, and we know say, well, me can't eat the thing where them I eat. So now dig up a piece of yam and cut off 2 finger banana off of the tree and a yam and banana and pick some ackee and and we will adjust. But healthcare and our safety is where we're failed at. We have been failed miserably. And the people have not speak up, so it's not getting any better. These facilities tend to not have these simple things in place. So we're going to go find out more. We're going to go find out more. It's disheartening, though, to see this. Now, for my medical expertise people in here, what do you think happened to this young lady? Morning, Bill. Kai up. Can't let him out. All right. Unstoppable Josh says, go back to our grandparents' home remedies. Appendix. Floody the Sweet Switch says appendix. Could be an appendix ruptured. ZJ Shando, good morning. ZJ Shando said the Jamaican system don't care about poor people. Jamaica has money. A lot too. It's not allocated in the right directions. That's why. Yeah, and that's the same song we've been singing from me idea me need till now. And we seem to like keep singing the same song year in, year out until we look around and decades have passed and we still singing the same song. So in part, the people are to be blamed because when I SouFLoTV talk about things like these, we get a lot of fight back. We get a lot of shut your mouth and talk about something else. We get a lot of ignore it because that's not the kind of video I want to see or indulge in. Instead of realizing that these people who you are putting in these positions of power to abuse you and neglect you, they are right there at your fingertips. Connect with them. Bombard their pages. They will start to do something when they cannot go on social media and interact in peace. This is your new way of marching. You don't have to get out into the streets and march anymore. Find their websites and bombard it. Full up their mailbox. But we alone can't do it. And when we do it, we have 1,000 people telling us to come out. So we need vocative. Yeah? Lola Lewis says it could be a fetal compaction. But a fetal compaction, yeah. Would a fetal compaction cause? Now, I've seen where they've had to manually remove, digitally insert and manually remove feces. A fetal compaction, would it have caused vomiting? That stink? Yes, it would have, because her system would have become septic. You're right. It could be. Wow. Wow. Stacey Deans, have a wonderful day and thank you for being here. We appreciate you greatly. Negretta Unstoppable says, this is no urgency in a person's health. There is no urgency in a person's health in Jamaica. The doctors are in it for the money, not to save lives. And you have to have the money in hand before they attend to you. So if you're money long, you're going to get upfront treatment, right? And the best of it. And then if your money is not long, you're going to be waiting for days that could kill you. And that's very true. Marilyn Davis says a host of things can cause the pain. Good medical assessment is what will determine. At this point, an autopsy will have to determine. When these things happen, we talk about them, but we understand that we talk about them with the purpose of finding what went wrong. Not only that, we talk about them with the purpose of putting it on a broader stage so more eyes are on it. You know, some people don't do right until a lot of eyes are on them. So when we put these on the front stage, it's like, okay, people are look, so we have to go dress right and fix up everything. No, right? And also to raise awareness so that they themselves can be like, well, you remember the girl that come in, the 16-year-old, and we never give her the x-ray because we just didn't have the machine, or because nurse so-and-so or doctor so-and-so who runs that machine, he's the only one in the facility that knows how to do it. He need to not be working shifts anymore. He needs to be on call. And on call mean we could call him in the middle of the night because this is an emergency. Matter of fact, when I took Kai to the hospital, when me and his mom took him to the hospital, the sonographer was called in. And she was called in 11 o'clock at night to midnight. And she was there in about 45 minutes. She was there within the hour. So we didn't have to hear, well, the only person who work the machine, she's not here, and she come in tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. So we just have to go wait till tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, sir. There's nothing we can do. Because I saw them talk to you, She was called in. So there are things that we can learn from others and tweak it in our own place so that our people can benefit from these things as well, right? So this is the purpose of why we do these kinds of videos. Yes, she passed away, Zion. The little girl passed away. Or maybe you're talking about the one in the coma. Because I'm still thinking about her as well. Haven't heard any report if she had passed away. But this one that went to the hospital for the stomach pain and was vomiting and was told, nothing wrong, you're good, go home. They didn't find anything. She passed away. 16 years old. Good morning, Cookie Mama. I hope all is well with you. I haven't seen Cookie Mama in a while. Cookie Mama has always been here for quite some time now and has given me a lot of inspiration over the years. And this morning she is saying Jamaicans care more about politics than healthcare. Yes, very true. Because when you look when voting time come, you see the sea of people that's out in the streets. But when you tell them to come out like that for stuff like forcing your elected leaders to refurbish the hospital, put the proper equipment in there, have the right people trained so that they can execute the proper procedures to save lives, nobody shows up. They act like it's what it is and we accept it. And if you do that, then these politicians say, okay, them not complain, so me pocket the money and go about my business, right? My kids can fly out and go to a hospital in Miami and get the best care. You have to go struggle and wait a week to get a stomach x-ray. I hope you don't dead in the meantime. Well, my condolences goes out to that family. But we're going to stay close to this story as well. And again, my disclaimer, I'm putting this on a broader stage because there are a lot of people on SouFLoTV's platform that work in the medical field, and I would just like to hear what they have to say. Since the doctors there or the medical professionals there found nothing. So I want to hear. I've done my own little research. It wasn't too extensive. And I told you what I came up with already, which it could have been a stomach ulcer, or it could have also been an inflammation of the stomach lining through gastritis, and the ulcer of that inflammation, damage on an artery, could have caused damage on an artery, ruptured the artery, and caused bleeding on the internal, which was coming back up through vomiting. So we're doing our own little research. Most people are set appendix ripe and it bursts, poisoning the body. Courtney Smith. Now, I wanted to find out the color of the vomit and all this, but he already said she was vomiting up blood, just blood. And it was stink. Now, fresh blood is never stink. Unless it's septic, then it's stink. So obviously an infection was there, correct? Darlene Walter Riley. CC King Tally say Obia. And this is our people, and you're going to hear that. You're going to hear say somebody Obia or no. because she that text on someone, or them just never like her because she was going places and she did smart. We heard all those things already. The color of the blood is important. You are absolutely right, Cookie Mama. Because if it's dark and if it's clotted, it could mean that it's been sitting inside of her for a while. If it's fresh and it look green, bright red, then it means that fresh blood that's coming out. And it could also determine how heavily she was bleeding inside, all kind of stuff. So you're right, the color of the blood is very important. Some type of infection. No, and for everybody out there who's asking, see, Cynthia Carter said it as well. Could very well have been cancer, but I don't think that cancer would have just come onset that quickly and then kill her that quickly. You know what I'm saying? All right, so when y'all see him in the morning, you already know what time it is. And see me. Why are you looking down here? Look up, Essa. This boy don't want to come, don't want to cut his hair, so we're growing his hair out again. Before we grew his hair out, and he had a habit of pulling his hair. So like to go to sleep, he would pull his hair, and he actually pull out a patch up front, or make him look like a senior citizen. So we cut off him here. See? We cut off his hair to save him from looking like he was 89. And now he don't want a haircut, so we're growing his hair back. Okay. Quick story before I go. I couldn't find my phone yesterday. Let's leave on a good note, right? Hi, boy. Let's leave on a good note. I couldn't find my phone yesterday. And I'm tearing down the house. My wife, I look tear down the house. Me, I tear down the house. And it was strange because I just put the phone on the center table and I said, I have these two people that I have to call relating to business. So I write down their information on a piece of paper, put my phone on top of the paper, right next to this, right on the center table, and say, I'm going to lay down now and watch TV on the couch for about an hour, give their business time to open up, and then make my phone call them. This one, yeah, in the meantime, went to the kitchen, right? Stood on something and was playing in the sink. And him turn on the water and full up a pot that was in the sink, and he's playing in it. and I didn't think anything of it. So me and wifey said, well, he's not hurting anybody or anything, so leave him, make him explore and play. So he's in the sink playing in the kitchen. About an hour pass or so, we get ready. Say, come on, let's take the kids to the park. I can't find my phone. I look under the couch, I look everywhere. I even thought, okay, Kai must have picked my phone up. So I went and searched his room, under his bed, behind his toys. Him like a house where I'm having a room. Look everywhere, can't find the phone. So I had to start calling people that I do business with now and giving them another phone number because I have two phones, but not everybody is on. You know, that was my personal phone. I decided to say, you know what, let me clean up the kitchen and get on with business as the normal day. And eventually that phone will pop up. It's going to be interesting to see where I find this phone. So me in there, I clean up the kitchen, you know, wipe down and sanitize counters and everything, fix up the place. And as I went, the last thing in the kitchen was the pot. I want a long pot, you know, that I cook soup in. And I got that pot from my mom's restaurant. So the long pot is the last thing I went to wash. Empty out the pot. The pot have spoon in there. It have one next little saucer, plate, cup in the pot. The last thing in that pot was my phone. My phone at the bottom of the pot full of water. So my phone dead. And the funny thing is my phone is a phone that I needed to update for the longest. But I keep saying, I'm not a person that spend money, you know, I'm kind of thrifty with my spending. So I use the phone till the phone got completely outdated. And right now the phone was being outdated so much. Every time I went to the phone company is like, they don't even make your phone anymore. Your phone needs to be updated. So what you're going to find is, like, if I try to text somebody on my phone, I will vex with people. Yeah, me I text you and you're not even a reply to me text them. And they're actually not getting my text, or they get the text like 1 hour after I send the text. So the phone had drastically slowed down. Couldn't use the GPS on the phone anymore. So I had to use my business phone as a GPS or my GPS system in the vehicle. So the phone did not go. I guess Kai finally said, you know what? You really need one new phone and stop this foolishness. The man took my phone and go put it in the pot of water. And when I found it, I couldn't do nothing but go over there and hug him up. I'd kiss him up. You know what I'm saying? And I thought to myself, boy, I remember growing up and me had the dishes. Time me like 7, 6 or 7 of the dishes, You have to stand up on something and learn how to wash plate and them thing there. So I'm doing dishes and I would drop a saucer or a cup and break it. And I would get some licks for breaking that. And I thought to myself, this is my phone. All my contacts, everything. Me not beat my picnic for that. So I'm going to go over there and go hug him up. Because the whole time me I look for the phone, tear up the house, he's just walking around like nothing wrong. And I'm saying, Kai, you see my phone? You see my phone, Kai? And Kai's looking at me like, I don't know. And it was right where he was playing, in the pot of water he was playing in. So today I'm going to have to go actually spend and get a proper phone, which I'll do today again. So anybody out there who contact me on that number, just know say that go on. Okay, Kai dashed the phone in a pot of water, and that's where I found my phone yesterday. So I'm gonna have to go get a new phone. Anyhow, people, I'm not beat him either. They would have killed me with lick when I was growing up, but I'm not beating him for that. Y'all cough on the people, them boy. Jesus. Say good morning and goodbye. Yeah, he's at the Terrible Twos, and they call the Terrible Twos for a reason. This right here, Livewire. They call it Terrible Twos for a reason. It's the age where a child starts to all their senses are heightened at that age. They're finally understanding what they're seeing a little bit more clearer. Their vision is now 100% clear, and their distance in vision is good. So they want to explore more now. What this do? What's this? That's why you gotta like cover the electric socket them, cause them will take a knife when you're not looking and push it into the electric socket. And hey, in saying this, let me say this. For the parents out there who like to leave their child in another room all day and you sit down in some other part of the house doing whatever you're doing, don't do it. Go and look. Check on the child on a regular basis. Kai's room, his mom set up his room so that it's like his play haven, right? So he can go to his room whenever he feels like it. He has a place in there where he feels secure and so on and so forth. But I know that his room has 1, 2, 3, 4 different electric outlets in his room. And I know that he's a very curious child. So he'll take a knife. He might take a knife, and you never see him remove that knife from the kitchen because the youth slicking up. And he'll probably go in there and try to push it in there and see what it do. And next thing you know, you have an electrocuted child in your house, right? So keep attention. Pay attention to your children. Don't leave them to go off and wander by themselves. Let them play where you can see them, because it only takes a moment. There's a lady who was bathing her little daughter and she left and ran to the other side of the house for something. And by the time she came back, the little girl drowned in the bathtub and she got a murder charge. So your whole life can change in an instant when you're dealing with children. All right. And don't be too hard on them. Don't beat them up over small stuff. Because me used to get beaten left, right, and center over small stuff. And these are the things that I told myself while I was growing up, that I want kids, I always told myself I wanted children. I always told myself I wanted a lot of children. I always told myself I was going to be a good dad to my children. I always told myself that I would never beat up my children for the things that they used to beat me up for. I used to get licks, real licks. You can't even beat picnic like that no more in 2020. You got prison, right? So remember, patience. And remember, we did this before where we said they come to teach us to humble ourselves. They come to teach us patience. They come to teach us to truly appreciate life. and to respect life and to respect individuals as well, because they're individuals and they're not us. They're different from us. So don't try to make them into who you want them to be. Just guide them into being who they are. Yeah, and be patient with them. We're gonna left it right this morning. All right. Can I get up early? This boy won't drink out of anything else except for this thing here. And if it lost, he probably won't be drinking. And we've been hunting, trying to find another one, and we can't find it. So see him there early morning. Where I drink? Apple juice. All right. Manners and respect, people. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you greatly. And I'll catch you tomorrow morning if all goes well. All right. Blessings in abundance to each and every one of you. And don't forget, the brother Troy Trucking, please go subscribe to his channel. Please check out his content. And if you're not into the trucking thing, then pass it on to somebody else. Share it, because I'm telling you that he can help a lot of people. Chairs and benches can help a lot of people as well. All right. Big up on yourself, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Each one teach one. Love and unity. Yeah. I'm out. Peace. You want to say bye-bye, Papa? I'm going to cut this off. Say bye to the people. No bye-bye? They can see you. Say bye. No, say bye. That's how you say bye. Nobody with that. Bye, boy. And we're out. Close them out. Oh. Cheers.